G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and welcome to a brand new video in a new, I guess, series, if you want to call it that, on Reforj. In this little sort of update series, I'll be going through the updates as they come out now that I can play it, and talk about all the new things. I apologize if this one isn't as thorough as future ones because this is the first time I've played it, therefore I'm trying to work out everything that was and wasn't there before. There's a lot of things that got renamed and stuff like that. Therefore, yeah. Let's turn on my HUD quickly. That way I can actually see what I'm doing. And let's walk through it. Yeah, this is TU5. This is the first one that I've personally gotten into, TU5. It's perfect. And I can sort of walk around. So the first and major thing that was added was multiplayer has been added. As you can see, I don't have anybody else playing with me, therefore I've made some friends, I guess. However, yeah, no, you can play online with up to 3 other people, 4 people in total. Yeah, that's pretty good as well. I mean, I guess. However, I don't know. For me, it doesn't really make much difference because I don't even think I know anybody else in Australia who actually has an Xbox Series X. I'm sure someone does. However, yeah, no, I don't know anyone myself. Butterflies have been added, which is kind of funny. Yeah, you can probably see them every now and then, they'll flutter around and all that sort of thing. They're nice. They don't do much. They sort of exist in the world, which is, I don't know, as I said, it's quite nice. The other thing when it comes to the multiplayer stuff, again, I'm sorry if this one isn't as thorough as it could be. There is customization. You can now choose between, I think is it 15? 16 different characters, or skins, I guess, at the moment for the Reforgy people. I don't know what you want to call them. The bracer can now go to, actually, let's get to a crafting table. The bracer previously, I don't believe, could go to level 4 or 5. It can now do that, level 4 and level 5. There is a second wheel, blaster mode, which I can show by going into creative mode. Blaster mode, this is neat. This is, instead of, you can go into the blaster mode, and whatever block or anything, I guess, that you have on you, you can blast those things out of your blaster. You can place blocks by doing this too, which is very funny to sort of look at. I think there is there's a limit, there's a cooldown type thing. However, yeah, really neat. It's gonna make, I'm sure this is gonna run into someone making mini games or something. It's really funny. I like it. I'm assuming you can do I believe, is it level 4 that you can get the blaster? Let's have a look. If I go back out of there, perfect. Did it say level 4? Yeah, bracer level 4 gets you the blaster mode. Yeah, really neat. I think it's amazing. Break. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to, there's been new dynamic music and ambience tracks added, which is neat. Some new mobs. Let's talk about them first. Down here is the skimmer. There he is, down there. Hello, little fella. Usually, I was about to say, usually they run away from you. However, they're nice little water guys and all that sort of thing. Neat. They drop these, which I believe are called skimmer shells. Yes, they are. It's perfect. I can use this little hint system to help me make the video. Yeah, they drop skimmer shells. Not sure what they're used for yet. Again, as someone who's literally only started playing the game today, this won't be as thorough. However, they did add skimmer shells. Yeah. Then they've added the Night Bloom. Let's skip past this for the moment. This is an enemy that comes out during the night. It's this. You can't really see it right now. If I set the time to nighttime, however, it should open up. There we go. Let's do that. It should open. There we go. And oh gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say, seeing as I'm in survival, it will fire out all sorts of different little pin things, and it does drop those. Therefore, let's set the time of day back to, actually, let's not do that yet. However, I will go to creative for the moment. That way it's not attacking me. In this chest, I have a night bloom form. That's what you can get from them, which is neat. I don't know if you can make anything from them yet. You may not be able to. Again, I am unsure. Yeah. Moving on. I have to go down my little list here. This is very unprofessional, however. I'm trying to get this done sort of quickly, I guess. Let's keep going. Yeah, they had the skimmer shell. Another item that's been added is some sap, I believe. I did have a chest around here with it somewhere. Is it this one? Yeah, this sap has been added. It's neat. I think it's neat, at least. There's been new decorations. There's the cushion. Oops. I didn't mean to break the cushion. It's now gone. Now I feel bad. Let's see if I can get a cushion back again. There we go. Cushion. There we go. A luxurious decorative item made from fine silk, which we'll get to in a bit. However, yeah, there's a cushion, there's a pot, and there's doors, which you can open and close, which I do know was a thing that was not before. Very good to see. New ores and elements. There is lumen stone in 24 different colors. It glows, which is why I wanted to keep it at nighttime. Looks really nice. I actually like how it's like a nice pastel color set, I guess. Then let's switch this back and switch the daytime back to the day. Next thing up is there is vertium. I believe it's, I think that's how it's said. This is vertium over here, vertium ore. You can then get vertium fiber and vertium specifically from it. And I believe the fiber might be used for something. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I apologize. There's deep root up here. This is found in caves, and I believe if you break it, you get sticks, which is really handy. I suppose if you want to do like a cave run or something like that. There is silk thistle and silk, which is, here we go, is silk thistle. You break it and you get silk. And you can use the silk to craft, and the vertium fiber from before and sap to improve the wingsuit. They added progression to the wingsuit, which is really neat. I like that. Something extra sort of to have. Over here, they've added variants, I believe. I don't know if what was here and what wasn't here before. They added variants to the different furniture pieces with all the different types and things like that. Yeah. And then they added a whole bunch of other things like other improvements and changes and stuff that I wasn't 100% sure how to get onto into the world. Again, something I'll figure out as these videos sort of go into further into the future, I guess. It's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, no, they added, this is all the new stuff though, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. However, they did do some updates to things. They made nighttime darker. They've improved how save data is handled. They added the wingsuit progression, as I said. Bracer blasting now affects movement on ice and in water. There's some of the mining speeds have been rebalanced for the different bracer levels. Boom blocks can be broken at level 2, which I don't know what they could be before. Column and row mining tools are now locked behind bracer level 4, which is, I suppose, a balancing way of doing things. Made fall damage more forgiving, which is definitely good for me when I decided to do my first survival episode, which will be coming out tomorrow. Yeah, they balanced some of the cooking times. I don't know what it was like before. However, if it's faster, it's faster, I guess. They added the recipe to craft noble glass on the kiln. I guess that makes sense. The aura storage container recipe now requires noble glass instead of noble glass shards, which I guess makes sense now that you can make noble glass on the kiln. The canister recipe now requires noble glass shards. The canister, I believe, is for like carrying water, I think. I think. The lantern recipe now requires sticks, which I guess it didn't before. They've updated some of the mobs a little bit as well. The Kibis will now attempt to flee out of water, which I probably could have set that up. However, yeah, I don't know. Because you can't like spawn mobs or anything, which is kind of frustrating actually. They reduced the screen shake when a boom shroom emerges, which I don't know what it was like before. When attacking tunneler scouts will now deal damage to other mobs that get in the way, which is kind of neat. It's how I got some aura in my first episode of the the Let's Play for the survival side of things, which is neat. Yeah, they've updated the UI as well. The scan prompt will no longer show for elements the player has previously interacted with, which is neat for me now that for my first time playing, it doesn't show. However, I can click on it regardless, which is kind of neat. I kind of like this. It is really good. They updated multiple of the in-game descriptions, adjusted the position of the scan prompt. I don't know where it was before. I don't know. Right now it's beside, I don't know, there's nothing really new here for me to check out, I don't think. Let's find, oh, column mining tool. Yeah, thanks. Oh, I know, it's fine. I don't actually need to know. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get out of it, please. Up, up, and away. I was hoping there was something new down here to check out, however, there's not. Yeah, they've adjusted the position anyway. They added the option to copy a save, which is neat. Add the option to disable mob spawning in creative mode, which is really good. I kind of hope they do that in survival as well down the line, maybe. Make a non-mob survival, because that's how I tend to prefer to play these types of games, without the mobs, if possible. Like, with peaceful mobs, yeah, have like bad mobs. I'm not the biggest fan of usually a lot of the time, because I'm not a big fan of combat. Anyway, they added a confirmation pop-up if you reset hints. Some settings can now be changed in survival mode if the save is marked as creative. This includes changing the time of day, enabling and disabling mobs, and enabling and disabling the time of day cycle, which has been very handy for setting up this video. World names can now support punctuations. Moved world settings to the pause menu. I kind of wish there was like a little, like a button you could press that would bring the world settings straight up, rather than having to go like this and then like this. I know it would only make it one less button thing, however, I think it would work better. Anyway, added plants tab to the creative inventory, which was apparently there before. Reorder the creative inventory, don't know what it looks like now. Improve the appearance of elements and items in the hotbar and inventory, which, again, I can't necessarily speak for. And then some of the ores and elements have been updated as well. They've renamed wood leaves and timber elements. I'm not exactly 100% what they were before. However, here's timber, I guess. Maybe they were like an oak or something. I don't know. Now, I guess they're probably a little bit less generic maybe now. I'd have to go back and look at the old developer interviews and stuff like that to see. They improved the appearance of some plants. Again, I wouldn't know. I'm assuming they have, though. Replaced amethyst with magnetite. I'm assuming you can't get amethyst anymore and you can get magnetite, I guess. Bedrock and lit bomb blocks are now unbreakable elements, which is good, I guess. Rename pale blue resin to aqua resin, which is a nicer name. Although, I don't know whether aqua and pale blue actually are realistically the same sort of thing. Renamed grain to prairie grain, which is good as well. I did see some grain over here before. Here's some. Yeah, this is now called prairie grain instead of normal grain. There's updated textures for the iron ore, gold ore, and boom blocks, which I probably should have pulled out. There we go. There's gold, iron, and I don't even know where it is. Is it in here? Is it in here? There's a boom block. Oh, there it is. Boom blocks, which look fun now. And prairie grain drops more when harvested, which I don't know how much it did before, however, it gives you a good amount. And then they've updated some of the sound effects. Added denial sound when attempting to scan nothing, improved sound effects for the wingsuit, the tunnel scout, player footsteps, player healing, ambient sound effects and tracks, and then when the player goes away. Ultimately. Yeah. A major amount of different things. Then there's other fixes as well. About being able to like walk through sculpted areas and stuff like that. Things to fix like bugs, which is good. I guess I can go through them. Players can now walk through sculpted circle shapes in any direction, which is neat. Storage crates no longer have a white cube when destroyed by a boom block. The player will no longer be knocked through the world when caught in a larger boom block explosion. The progress bar no longer displays while attacking a mob immediately after being in the process of mining an element. The game no longer crashes when interacting with kilns and campfires while they are being destroyed, which is a funny bug. Kilns will now always be extinguished with water regardless of how much fuel they have. Boom streams no longer drop loot if they are taken out like while they explode. Boom streams now drop loot when hit by other boom streams. Players can collect dropped ore if a tunnel scout fails to consume it. The player can now smoothly walk upstairs adjacent to a wall and fixed additional minor bugs. Therefore, yeah, lots of stuff for TU5. I've been waiting ages to be able to play, as I said. Therefore, I can give my quick thoughts overall. I'm really enjoying it, what I've played thus far. I played some survival and now this in creative and everything. I think the controls are very, very smooth, very 4J. I think that's definitely the best way to put it. It's very 4J, which I'm very happy about. Yeah. Overall, though, I guess that's my first impressions. And yeah, my update impressions, or whatever I decide to call this little series where I go through. I feel like I should keep the same world as well, and like slowly expand it with all the different updates, additives and stuff like that as I go. However, I believe that is all for me for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.